In a distant galaxy, the Galactic Empire looked down on Earth with a mix of curiosity and disdain. To them, Earth was a small blue dot, home to a race they considered primitive and weak. The Empire had powerful ships and advanced technology, and they believed they could easily conquer any planet they wanted. The leaders of the Empire decided it was time to explore Earth and discover its secrets. A small team of soldiers and scientists was chosen for this mission. Their ship, sleek and shiny, zoomed through space, leaving behind a trail of stars. As they approached Earth, they could see its beauty: blue oceans, green forests, and white clouds. But their mission was clear: capture the humans and bring them back for study. The ship landed quietly in a remote area of the forest. The team, wearing shiny suits, stepped out and looked around. They felt confident and powerful. Little did they know humans were nearby, observing them from a distance. A group of friends, Emma, Jake, and Mia, had gone into the woods for a day of adventure. They were curious and brave, often exploring places others would not dare to go. As the friends moved closer to the spaceship, they whispered excitedly to each other. "Look at that shiny thing." "What do you think it is?" Emma asked, her eyes wide with wonder. Jake, the boldest of the three, suggested, "Let's get closer. It might be a UFO." Mia, a bit more cautious, replied, "I don't know, guys. What if it's dangerous?" But curiosity won over caution, and they crept forward, hidden behind the trees. The Galactic Empire team set up their equipment, scanning the area for life forms. They quickly found the humans. "There they are!" one of the scientists exclaimed, pointing at the three friends. The team exchanged excited glances. "We can capture them easily," another soldier said, confident in their technology. Emma, Jake, and Mia were still unaware of the danger they were in. As they got closer to the spaceship, they saw the soldiers preparing to capture them. Suddenly, the friends heard a noise. They turned to see the soldiers, and fear gripped their hearts. "Run!" Jake shouted, and they dashed back into the trees. But the Empire was fast. The soldiers activated their weapons and quickly surrounded the area. They fired bright beams of light that trapped the three friends. Emma, Jake, and Mia struggled against the beams, but it was no use. The Galactic Empire had them, and they were powerless against their advanced technology. As the soldiers pulled them toward the spaceship, Emma yelled, "What do you want with us? We haven't done anything wrong." The soldiers did not respond. They simply moved the humans onto the ship, treating them like objects instead of people. Inside the ship, Emma, Jake, and Mia were terrified, but determined to find a way to escape. They were not going to let fear control them. The Galactic Empire was excited about their capture. They believed they could study the humans, uncover their secrets, and use them for their own advantage. They did not realize that humans were much stronger than they appeared. As the ship took off, soaring back into the stars, the friends looked out at their planet disappearing beneath them. They felt a mix of fear and anger. "We have to find a way to escape," Mia whispered, her heart racing. Jake nodded. "We can't let them keep us like this." Emma, filled with determination, said, "We are going to fight back. We can't let them win." Unbeknownst to the Empire, these three humans were not just ordinary people. They were brave, resourceful, and ready to face whatever came next. The Galactic Empire had made a grave mistake by underestimating them. As the ship sped away from Earth, a new chapter in human history began. The Empire thought they had conquered Earth, but they had only awakened a sleeping giant. The friends made a silent promise to each other. They would fight for their freedom and show the Empire that humans were not to be trifled with. The first encounter had set the stage for an epic struggle, one that would change everything. Inside the cold, metallic walls of the Galactic Empire's ship, Emma, Jake, and Mia felt a mix of fear and determination. They were trapped in a small room locked away from the rest of the ship. Outside, they could hear the soldiers talking, their voices filled with laughter and confidence. Little did they know that the humans they had captured were far more resilient than they appeared. The friends quickly huddled together. "We need to think of a plan," Emma said, her eyes blazing with determination. "We can't let them keep us here." Jake nodded in agreement. "I can't believe they think they can just take us like this. We have to fight back." Mia, who had been listening closely, added, "Look, we need to figure out how to escape. If we can get out of this room, maybe we can find a way to sabotage their ship." They all agreed that escaping was their top priority. They needed to be brave and clever. As they began to search the room, Emma noticed a small vent near the ceiling. "What if we can get into that vent?" she suggested, pointing to it. Maybe it leads somewhere we can escape. Jake's eyes lit up. Good idea, but we'll need to boost each other up there. They worked together, using a crate in the corner to climb up. One by one, they pulled themselves into the vent. It was dark and narrow, but they squeezed through with all their strength. The vent felt like an endless tunnel, but they moved quickly, driven by their desire for freedom. After crawling for what felt like forever, they finally heard voices below. Peering through the vent's opening, they could see the soldiers gathered around a control panel, laughing and chatting. They'll never escape, one soldier said confidently. Humans are too weak! Emma, Jake, and Mia exchanged glances. They felt a surge of anger. We'll show them who's weak, Emma whispered fiercely. They listened closely as the soldiers discussed their plans. We'll take them to the lab for testing later, another soldier said. I can't wait to see what they're hiding. The friends knew they had to act fast. Mia whispered, if we can drop something on them, it might create a distraction. Jake nodded. I see some tools over there. If we can grab one and drop it down, it might work. They carefully crawled back toward the area with the tools. With teamwork, they quietly selected a small wrench and positioned it near the vent's opening. They counted to 3 and dropped it. The wrench clanged loudly against the metal floor, startling the soldiers. What was that? One soldier exclaimed, looking around in confusion. Using the moment of distraction, the friends crawled out of the vent and down to the floor. Now! Emma shouted, and they dashed toward the nearest exit. But before they could reach the door, they were spotted by a soldier. Hey! Stop right there! He yelled, reaching for his weapon. But the friends didn't hesitate. They charged at him, surprising him with their sudden bravery. Jake tackled the soldier, knocking him off balance, while Mia grabbed his weapon. Emma quickly joined them, and together they managed to subdue the soldier. Breathing heavily, they looked at each other, their hearts racing. We did it! Mia said, a mix of fear and excitement in her voice. But we need to move fast before more come. They quickly took the soldier's uniform and weapons, disguising themselves as Galactic Empire soldiers. We can use these to our advantage, Jake said, trying to steady his breathing. If we act like we belong here, we might find a way to get to the control room. With their new disguises, they made their way through the ship, pretending to be soldiers. As they walked through the corridors, they overheard conversations about Earth's resources and the experiments planned for them. Each word fueled their determination. They realized that this was not just a fight for their freedom, it was a battle to protect their home. With every step, the friends grew more confident. They were no longer just 3 scared humans. They were a team, ready to fight back against the Galactic Empire. They knew the road ahead would be dangerous, but they were prepared to face it together. The humans were rising, and the Empire would soon learn that angering humans came with consequences. Emma, Jake, and Mia were no longer victims. They were warriors, ready to reclaim their freedom and teach the Empire a lesson they would never forget. With their new disguises, Emma, Jake, and Mia moved cautiously through the Galactic Empire's ship. The metallic corridors felt both strange and familiar as they tried to blend in with the other soldiers. Their hearts raced with a mix of fear and excitement. They knew they had to reach the control room to gain control of the ship and find a way back to Earth. As they walked, they overheard soldiers talking about the human captives. I can't wait to see what kind of experiments we can do, one soldier said, laughing. Another replied, humans are nothing compared to us. They won't stand a chance. Emma felt a fire ignite within her. They think we're weak, she whispered to Jake and Mia. We have to show them what we can really do. The trio approached a door marked control room. They exchanged nervous glances, but there was no turning back. They stepped inside, and what they saw took their breath away. The room was filled with blinking lights, screens, and controls. It was the heart of the ship, and they needed to take control. A soldier sat at the main console, focused on his work. The friends quickly devised a plan. We can distract him, Jake suggested. Mia, you go to the left and create a noise. Emma and I will take him from behind. Mia nodded, ready to put her plan into action. Mia stepped quietly to the side and knocked over a stack of equipment, creating a loud crash. The soldier jumped up, startled, and turned to see what had happened. What was that? He shouted. Seizing the moment, Emma and Jake rushed forward, tackling him before he could react. The soldier struggled, but they quickly subdued him. We did it! Mia exclaimed, breathing heavily. They quickly tied up the soldier with some rope they found nearby. Now let's see what we can do here, Emma said, sitting down at the control panel. As she scanned the screens, she noticed various readings and maps of Earth. "Look at this!" she shouted, pointing at a screen that displayed the Empire's plans. "They're planning to drain our planet's resources. We can't let them do this." While Emma focused on the control panel, Jake and Mia searched for anything useful. They discovered a series of weapons and equipment, including a small device that looked like a grenade. "What's this?" Mia asked, holding it up. "It looks powerful. Maybe it can help us," Jake replied. They decided to take it with them, just in case they needed it later. Suddenly, alarms began to blare. "Uh-oh." "We need to hurry," Emma shouted. She quickly tapped buttons on the console, trying to shut off the alarm. "If we don't get out of here fast, they'll know we're not one of them." With a few quick movements, she managed to disable the alarm, but they could hear footsteps approaching. "We need to find a way to escape this ship," Jake urged. "We can't go back the way we came." Emma glanced at the map on the screen and pointed to a nearby exit. "There's a shuttle bay not far from here. If we can get to it, we can escape." They gathered their gear and headed toward the exit, staying low to avoid being seen. As they made their way through the corridors, they encountered a few soldiers, but thanks to their disguises, they managed to bluff their way past them. They whispered to each other about their next move, adrenaline pumping through their veins. When they reached the shuttle bay, they found several small ships ready for launch. "This is it," Mia said, her excitement bubbling over. "We can finally get out of here!" They climbed into one of the shuttles and quickly powered it up. Emma took the controls while Jake and Mia scanned the area for any incoming soldiers. Just as they were about to launch, they heard voices approaching. "Hurry! We need to go!" Jake urged. Emma pressed the launch button and the shuttle's engines roared to life. They shot out of the bay, narrowly avoiding enemy fire. As they sped away from the Galactic Empire ship, the three friends cheered. They had not only escaped, but also uncovered the Empire's plans to exploit Earth. They realized they were stronger than they had ever imagined. Each of them had hidden skills waiting to be discovered. Emma's quick thinking, Jake's bravery, and Mia's resourcefulness had brought them this far. As they flew through space, heading back to Earth, they knew the fight was not over. They had much more to do, and together they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. They had uncovered their hidden strengths, and now they were determined to protect their home and prove to the Galactic Empire that humans were not to be underestimated. Back on Earth, Emma, Jake, and Mia landed their shuttle in a hidden forest. The trees stood tall around them, providing shelter as they caught their breath. They could hardly believe what they had accomplished. They had escaped from the Galactic Empire and uncovered their plans to exploit Earth's resources. But deep down, they knew their fight was far from over. As they exited the shuttle, they quickly discussed their next steps. "We need to warn everyone," Jake said, looking at the others with serious eyes. "If the Empire is planning to attack us, we have to be ready." Mia nodded, her face grim. "We need to gather allies." "We can't do this alone," Emma agreed. "We should head to the nearest military base. They need to know what we discovered." The friends gathered their supplies and set off through the dense trees, their hearts racing with determination. Meanwhile, aboard the Galactic Empire's ship, panic spread like wildfire. The soldier they had captured was freed, and he rushed to report to his superiors. "They're gone! The humans escaped!" he shouted, his voice shaking with fear. The commander's face turned pale. "What do you mean they escaped? How is that possible?" he demanded, anger rising in his voice. "Those humans were supposed to be helpless. We underestimated them." The commander slammed his fist on the table, sending papers flying. "Sir, they took control of the ship. They know our plans. If we don't act fast, they will warn Earth," the soldier explained, his eyes wide with fear. The commander felt a chill run down his spine. He realized they had made a grave mistake by underestimating the humans. The Empire had always believed that humans were weak, but this unexpected turn of events showed them otherwise. The commander gathered his team and ordered them to prepare for battle. "We must find those humans before they can warn their people," he commanded. "If Earth learns of our plans, we could lose everything." Back on Earth, Emma, Jake, and Mia reached the military base. They explained everything they had experienced, from their capture to their daring escape and the Empire's intentions. The officers listened in shock, their faces pale as they grasped the situation. "We need to act quickly," one officer said, turning to his colleagues. "If the Empire is serious about attacking Earth, we need to prepare our defenses." Emma, Jake, and Mia felt a sense of relief wash over them as they saw the military spring into action. As the officers rallied their forces, Emma whispered to her friends, "We need to help them prepare. We have information that can make a difference." They were determined to contribute, knowing that they held vital knowledge about the Empire's tactics and technology. For the next few days, the trio worked tirelessly alongside the military. They shared everything they had learned during their time aboard the ship. They explained how the Empire operated, the locations of their ships, and the weaknesses they had observed. Their unique insights made a significant impact. The military leaders listened intently, planning their strategies around the information the humans provided. The atmosphere grew tense, filled with determination and urgency. They knew the Empire was coming and they needed to be ready. Meanwhile, the Galactic Empire was preparing its forces. The commander ordered a fleet of ships to head toward Earth. "We will show those humans what happens when you anger the Empire," he shouted. The soldiers nodded, filled with a mix of excitement and fear. They were terrified, but also eager to prove their strength. As the fleet moved through space, the commander kept a close eye on the navigation systems. "We must arrive undetected. If those humans have warned their people, we might face serious resistance," he warned. The soldiers began to sweat as the realization of their mission's stakes sunk in. Back on Earth, Emma, Jake, and Mia worked tirelessly with the military. They trained the soldiers, showing them how to adapt human tactics and use their resources to counter the Empire's advanced technology. They shared their skills, helping to boost morale. "We're not just fighting for ourselves, we're fighting for our planet," Mia said passionately during a training session. "We need to show the Empire that we are strong and united." As the days passed, anticipation filled the air. The military and the trio knew the Empire was close. They had to stand together, ready to face the threat. Emma, Jake, and Mia felt the weight of their responsibility, but they were ready to fight for their home. The Galactic Empire had awakened a force it never expected. The humans, fueled by a desire to protect their planet, were ready to show the Empire that they were far from weak. It was a fight for survival, and they would not back down. They had uncovered their hidden strengths, and the Empire would soon learn the true power of humanity. The day had finally arrived. Emma, Jake, and Mia stood on the military base's command deck, their hearts pounding as they prepared for the final showdown against the Galactic Empire. The sky was gray, matching the tense atmosphere inside the command center. Officers were moving quickly, issuing orders and checking equipment, but all eyes were on the trio. Emma looked at her friends, their faces determined but anxious. "This is it. We've trained hard for this moment, and we need to stick together," she said, her voice steady. Jake nodded, clenching his fists. "We can't let the Empire take our home." "We're ready." Mia took a deep breath, feeling the weight of their mission. "Let's remind them that we're not to be underestimated." With that, they turned to the massive screens displaying the incoming fleet of Galactic Empire ships, their dark silhouettes ominous against the backdrop of space. As the ships approached Earth, the military began to mobilize their forces. Fighter jets zoomed into the sky, prepared to intercept the Empire's advance. The command center buzzed with communication. "All units, prepare for engagement," an officer shouted, his voice echoing through the room. Emma, Jake, and Mia had been assigned to a small but powerful team. They were tasked with infiltrating one of the enemy ships and sabotaging its systems. "We'll create a diversion," Emma explained to their team. "Once we're inside, we'll disable their weapons so the military can strike without heavy resistance." As their ship took off, the tension was palpable. Mia scanned the radar, her fingers hovering over the controls. "There are too many of them. How will we get in?" she worried. "We'll find a way," Jake said confidently. "We have to believe in ourselves." They flew toward the Empire's flagship, its size intimidating against the stars. As they got closer, alarms blared on their ship. "They see us! We need to be quick!" Emma shouted. With her heart racing, she piloted the ship into the shadows of the enemy fleet. Just as they entered the flagship, a blast rocked their vessel, sending them spiraling into a hangar. They quickly regained control and landed safely. "We're here," Mia said, adrenaline coursing through her veins. "Let's go!" As they exited the ship, they encountered a group of enemy soldiers. The trio ducked behind a large crate, their hearts pounding. "We can't fight them all," Emma whispered. "We need a distraction." Jake nodded, scanning the area for something useful. He spotted a control panel nearby and had an idea. "If I can hack into their system, I can trigger a power failure," he said. "That should buy us some time." Mia and Emma nodded, trusting him. Jake hurried to the panel, his hands flying over the buttons. Within moments, the lights flickered and a loud alarm sounded. "Now! Let's go!" Emma urged. They rushed toward the main control room, dodging confused soldiers. The ship shook with chaos as the power went out. They could hear the panic in the air. As they reached the control room, they found the commander barking orders. "Get the power back online," he shouted. The trio exchanged glances, knowing they had to act quickly. "We need to stop him," Mia said, determination in her eyes. Emma stepped forward, confronting the commander. "You underestimated us, and now you will pay," she declared. The commander turned, shock written on his face. "Humans? How did you get here?" With a quick move, Jake threw a flashbang grenade he had found earlier. The room erupted in bright light and loud noise, disorienting the commander and his guards. In the confusion, Mia dashed forward and pressed the emergency shutdown button, disabling the ship's main weapons. "Let's get out of here!" Emma shouted, and they raced back through the corridors as alarms continued to blare. They heard footsteps behind them, but they didn't stop. They burst through the hangar doors, sprinting toward their ship. Once inside, Mia took the controls, while Jake and Emma strapped in. "We need to warn the military," Jake shouted. Just then, the flagship shook violently as the military began their attack, firing missiles at the enemy ships. Mia launched their ship into the air, and they watched as the Galactic Empire's fleet fought back against Earth's forces. It was chaotic, but the humans were holding their own. "We have to help," Emma said. Mia adjusted the ship's weapons and aimed at an enemy vessel. "I'll give them a taste of our power," she declared, firing a volley of shots that struck the ship, causing it to explode. The three friends cheered, their spirits high. They had become warriors, not just defenders. They fought alongside their military, turning the tide against the Galactic Empire. As the battle raged on, the commander of the Empire's fleet realized they had lost control. In the end, the humans stood united, proving their strength and resilience. The Empire's ships began to retreat, their fear palpable. Emma, Jake, and Mia had shown them that angering humans came with dire consequences. As they flew back toward Earth, the trio looked at each other, knowing they had fought not only for their home, but for humanity itself. They had faced fear and emerged victorious, ready to protect their planet against any future threats. The Galactic Empire would never forget this lesson, never anger humans again.